All right, good evening. All right, good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me out there? Hello and welcome. My name is Mario Sulaksana. I am the host for this beautiful event. Make some noise if you've been to a GarrettsSpace fundraiser before. Wow. Make some noise if it's your first time. Wow, okay. I won't talk too long. You'll see me up here a few times this evening, but let's just give a quick round of applause and shout out to Darren Austin, who led that meditation before this started. There he is up there. I like this kind of call and response thing. If you're from Ann Arbor, if you're a townie, make some noise. Okay. Any Michigan grads out there? Wolverines? Okay. Anyone not from Michigan? All right. Yes. My experiences being in Ann Arbor, having had a really lovely time before I moved to Los Angeles. Any LA heads out there in the? Woo! Oh yeah. Cold world. Welcome USC, UCLA to the Big Ten, right? You know. So I have had the privilege to work with GarrettsSpace the past few years and do this event, and it means a lot because Garrett was one of my best friends growing up at Pioneer High School. My dear friend Cesar, he introduced us after a couple classes we had freshman year. And it's a real privilege, like I said, to just be here and support. And I know this event is an extension of him as much as his parents, so let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for Scott and Julie. So I guess to keep that energy going, I'm going to talk just a little bit now, but I'm going to pass it to Marley, who is going to be doing, first I'll say Marley is a development specialist and wellness group facilitator with GarrettsSpace. She's going to get us started with a simple grounding activity as an example on what we might do in one of our wellness groups. So let's make some noise for Marley, everybody.
Am I using this? Can you hear me? Okay. Thanks, Mario, and thank you all for being here. I am very fortunate to be a co-facilitator of 2 of our 3 weekly support groups. In addition to that, we have a monthly in-person meeting that we do where all the groups get to come together. So there's really multiple ways that we're trying to support community building here at GarrettsSpace. In these groups, we try to offer tools that can help us all navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life. And we try to be really clear that not every tool works for everyone, nor does it work all the time, but empower our participants, which I would also like to empower all of you at this moment to sort of take whatever works and make it fit into your life and put it in your own personal toolbox, right? So that we all have strategies for when things are a little bit more difficult. Not everyone struggles with depression and or anxiety, but I think we all understand how our mind is sometimes pulled to the future, perhaps by anxiety or anticipation or excitement, or maybe pulled to the past by, rehashing, why did I say that? Or some sense of nostalgia for someone or something. And so while that fluctuation is entirely human and natural and normal, and something we all experience, it can sometimes lead us to feel pretty disconnected from our physical bodies, from the space we're in, and from the people around us. So I'm going to offer like a little snippet of what I would define as a grounding exercise that can help us reconnect with the space we're in and our own bodies, and this time, as opposed to the past or the future. This is a beautiful moment, so we all want to be here and enjoy it and observe it. And as I said, as I offer this, there's no wrong way to engage. So please just understand that you're taking whatever I say and engaging with it a way that feels right in this moment, in this time, and hopefully putting it in your pocket for another moment that it might serve you. So with that being said, if you're comfortable joining me, start by maybe just sitting up a little taller in your seat. Oh, wow. You are all listening so well. Thank you for that. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And if that's not comfortable for you, maybe just sort of look straight ahead and hold your gaze so that your eyes aren't darting around as much. And we're just going to take one breath now. Now, when you open your eyes, go ahead and take a little look around the space. You can feel free to turn your head and even turn your body, and you're just going to kind of look at the different objects and shapes that you see, and eventually you'll let your eyes land on one thing and hold that thing in your gaze. And then you're going to start by thinking about the sort of most identifiable qualities of that thing. So notice what color it is, and what shape it is, and its size, and maybe you can perceive of its texture, and perhaps even of its weight. And then there's another layer where maybe it reminds you of something. So just notice for a moment if there's any sensations or emotions or memories that sort of rise to the surface as you gaze at this object. Let's take one more breath now, continuing to gaze at your object of choice. Now, we're going to turn our awareness to what we are hearing. And I'm going to remove my voice from the equation for a minute because that would be too terribly obvious. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can do that, or you can keep the eyes open. And we're just going to take a second to listen to whatever sounds arise. As you listen, consider if you know what's making the sound or sounds you're hearing. And again, if the sound or sounds that you're hearing bring any memories or emotions or sensations to you. Finally, your eyes can stay open or close, but we're going to engage with our sense of touch. So I just want you to feel how you're sitting in your seat. You might notice where your hands are resting and how your feet are resting on the floor. And in a moment, you're going to make one change. So it could be like wiggling your toes. It could be tiny. Or you could cross or uncross your legs or change where your hands are resting. But with a breath now, make one change to how you are seated. And just take one final breath, noticing how that change feels in your body. Okay, so now we're all really present and here to enjoy some pretty magnificent programming. Thank you for trying that with me. I really appreciate it. And it is now my pleasure to bring Garrett's sisters, Madeline and Allie Halpert, to the stage. Thanks, folks.
Okay, hello everybody. Yeah, got it. Just a moment as we set ourselves up here. Thank you so much, Marley, for leading us in that really sweet activity, getting present. My name is Allie Halpert, and I was Garrett's sister. One of the things that we used to love to do with Garrett, Madeline, and I was to sit around the piano or a guitar and sing together. And so that's how we're opening tonight with you all. And I know that Garrett would be really happy to know that there was a room about to sing all together. So thank you for being in that room. This is a song that I co-wrote with my friend Anat, and she likes to write what she calls depression jingles, which can be another tool in your toolbox if you want it. The idea being that there are so many messages that can get stuck in our head from the oppressive society that we're living in. All of us really need to feel like we belong, and there are so many messages coming at us that can make us feel otherwise, because we don't presently live in a world that cherishes and celebrates and supports life. So her depression jingle goes a little bit like this, which I'll teach you, and then there's a second part that goes over that. And Madeline is going to be holding down the very simple part that you will also get to sing, if you so choose. So it goes like this. I'm not alone, try that. Beautiful. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Nice, that's perfect. So you can join us when you see fit. I'm not alone. 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 Here's the second part. I forgot for a minute who I belong to. The Mama Earth, the wind and rain, the beauty and the pain. I'm not alone. For me, the world was created. I'm not alone. To dust I will return. I'm not alone. 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 I forgot. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Mama Earth. I'm not alone. Wind and rain. I'm not alone. Beauty. I'm not alone. 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 To dust I will return. I'm not alone. 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 I forgot. I'm not alone. 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 For me, the world was created. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. To dust I will return. One more time. I'm not alone. 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 We would now, we'd love to bring on Mario, who's going to join us to play the piano. Oh, yeah. When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe when all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising water line. While the sky is finally open, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. So hold tight to your umbrella, 'cause darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. If you could see what I see, you'd be blinded by the colors, yellow, red, orange, and green, and at least a million others. So tie up the boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. 'Cause the sky's finally opened, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Hold tight to your umbrella, 'cause darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. So tie up the boat, take off your coat, and take a look around. Everything is alright now, 'cause the sky is finally open, the rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella, well, darling, I'm just trying to tell ya that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. Yeah, there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. It'll all be alright.
It's okay. I'm going to read a little something. Okay, we can stand up. Remember to sit back down. I'm going to sit. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to say a couple words, then I'm going to look at my phone because I'm not a big speaker in front of crowds. But here we are. Thank you all so much for being here today as we celebrate all the hard work that so many people have put into GarrettsSpace over this past year and for many years, and in particular, our parents. It's especially wonderful to be surrounded by family and friends as we near the anniversary of our 7th year without Garrett. For those of you who have lost somebody too young or unexpectedly, you know that it can kind of warp your sense of time. So in some respects, it feels like ages that we've had to spend without our favorite person, hearing his laugh and listening to him sing at the piano. And in other respects, for those of you who knew Garrett, it probably feels like yesterday, that last time he listened to you so deeply as you told him just one very simple thing about your day. He had the kind of presence and warmth that stays with you for an eternity. When I think about these 7 years, I also think about what an enormous amount of work my parents have been able to accomplish in such a short and difficult period of time. While other parents might have fallen into their grief, as they have every right to do, my parents' first thought was to make sure that no one else would have to go through what they experienced. And that's how the idea of Garrett's Space was born. And since that time, they have worked tirelessly to continue to center Garrett's spirit at the heart of their mission, to create a space of kindness and empathy where so many young people who need and deserve that will be able to seek refuge. So thank you all for coming out and for supporting them, and I'd like to welcome them to the stage. And we're so glad to be their daughters.
So before I start our remarks, just like the Von Trapp Family Singers, we're going to join our daughters for one more number. Just kidding. I just wanted Julie to go out of her mind when I said that. That's all. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th annual Go4GarrettsSpace event. As Julie and I look around the auditorium, our hearts are just filled with such gratitude seeing so many great friends here and supporters of Garrett Space. We're just so grateful to you all, and especially those who came from very far away to be here today. It's also heartwarming to see so many of the young adults who showed up for our event tonight. So we have a large number of people and businesses to thank who've contributed to this wonderful event. Unfortunately, they're too numerous to be able to recognize them all individually, but please know that our appreciation really runs deep. Let me begin with a shout out to our small but mighty internal team led by Helen Starman and Sarah Grebe, who organized today's event. Thank you. As well as our team that is running the silent auction, including Rachel. Next, we owe so much to our 40 generous sponsors who are integral in supporting our ongoing programming efforts. And a huge thank to everyone who is contributing to this evening in so many wonderful ways, including the amazing hosts, speakers and performers and activity leaders, also the young adults and public figures who have created the moving video tributes that you can see in the atrium outside, and I really encourage you to take a look at those. And then the organizations and individuals who have donated spirits, decorations, or their precious time, or also donated to the silent auction. And finally to WCC for allowing us to use this beautiful venue for free for the 2nd year in a row. So can we have a warm round of applause for everyone? Thank you. So one more mention, we would be nowhere in achieving our mission without our incomparable facilitator team. You're also passionate about supporting our young adults and trying to make a difference in their lives. And can you all please stand up and be recognized for the life-changing work that you're doing? So here tonight are, you met Marley, and also Peggy is here with Kayla, Nick, Aaron, and I don't see Nye here. She's here. Okay. Also a Nye. So thank you all so much again. So it's been, as Madeline said, it's been 7 years now since we lost our beautiful son, Garrett, to suicide when he was 23. It feels like just yesterday that he was here with us, bringing his warmth, his laughter, and his love to this world and to our family. He just made us so proud of him every single day of his life. It's also hard to believe that it's been about 5 years since a few of our founding board members were spitballing around our dining room table, trying to figure out the best way to move Garrett Space forward. These were great friends doing their best to encourage us during, obviously, our unbearable grief. And they encouraged us to shoot high in developing our vision of a holistically focused residential center. However, it was hard not to notice a little bit of worry in their faces that perhaps we were trying to take on too much and that we faced a long and daunting journey ahead of us. The good news was that Julie and I were incredibly naive and didn't know any better. So we just kept our heads down and moved the vision forward. Then with the benefit of some luck, the guidance of our brilliant team, and the support of a few very generous donors, things began to fall into place. And now we are on the cusp of building the transformational space we believe could have given Garrett hope and saved his precious life. Since our founding, GarrettsSpace is focused on the present and the future. Today, we provide wellness groups, as Marley mentioned, for young adults 18 to 28 with depression or anxiety as a supplement to therapy. We started this 3.5 years ago during the pandemic and have been providing facilitated support groups and teaching coping skills with guided activities like breathing and movement and the activity that Marley mentioned earlier. These groups are virtual with a monthly in-person social gathering. The challenges of our participants really mirror those across the country right now. They're feeling lonely, left out, and inadequate. And of course, social media exacerbates all of that, where they see everybody else's lives that just are not reality-based. So our wellness program has been a resounding proof of concept success, confirming that we can make a difference by giving challenged young adults a warm and caring community of peers where they can be their authentic selves, make connections, and see that they're not alone in their struggles. And it's paving the way for the future, our non-medically focused center that Julie will now preview.
So we've been planning for our future center since the founding of GarrettsSpace. We expect that it will be a best-in-class wraparound support option for young adults who need something more than regular visits to their therapist. We've done our due diligence to confirm that our setting, activities, and other factors we're targeting will be effective in helping this population. It always just made sense to Scott and me that being with peers experiencing similar challenges in a healing and supportive setting would generate unmatched bonds of friendship and trust and give our participants hope that they matter and feel valued. Our residential center vision came into greater focus last year with the purchase of our stunning 77-acre property just northeast of Ann Arbor. This is where we'll be building our breathtaking campus, which includes an existing warm and inviting Frank Lloyd Wright inspired house and 2 buildings, an 11,000 square foot residence, and a separate creativity studio. At the center, in addition to continuing our support groups, we'll be offering a host of healing activities like yoga, music, art, meditation, nutritious cooking, gardening, and exercise. And we'll be taking advantage of the spectacular nature at the site, including the acres of forested areas for walking paths and a lovely pond and creek. We know that our target population will crave the restorative setting, connections, and activities that our center will offer. And we know this for many reasons, including the fact that our current group participants have told us so. We're planning to break ground on a new building and begin in-person programming at the existing house later this year. We're very close to wrapping up the site plan process, which will enable us to move forward. It feels beyond amazing that we're so close to reaching these crucial milestones. Our new construction should be complete in about 1.5 years in the beginning of 2026. We'll then open our campus for day programming, following 1 year later for residential stays. As we grow, the need for more personnel and resources has accelerated, and we are eager to raise sufficient funds to complete our campus and expand our team to reach our goal of helping several hundred young adults at the center annually, as well as providing resources to families and other loved ones. On the building front, we launched our capital campaign at the end of last year and have raised over $8.2 million toward our $13.5 million campaign goal. So we want to give a shout out to our campaign co-chairs, the dynamic duo of Lynn Song and Ashley Oberheide. These are two incredible women who know how to get things done. And with them by our side, we remain confident in the success of our capital campaign. We're now going to show you a short video depicting our planned center through renderings created by our world-class architect, Mass Design. At each of our fundraisers, we like to bring in the spirit of our sweet Garrett. Those of you who were fortunate enough to know him and witness his goodness understand how much he is missed. We believe he would be so pleased with the work that GarrettsSpace is doing to help young adults. And everything we do at GarrettsSpace is driven by the way Garrett lived his life helping others. Someone who had such a bright future, but lost hope amidst his struggles. We continue to see so many other young adults losing hope. We're eager to help them find their way and live their beautiful lives. And with your help, we can get there. Now Scott will present our second annual Spirit of Garrett Award.
So a few minutes ago, I talked about how fortunate we've been to have made such significant progress, and that it's been due in large part to our team and a few generous donors who believed in our vision. This evening, we'd like to posthumously honor one such individual who's had an outsized role in making this progress possible. It's fair to say that without the help of Natalie Cherrick, GarrettsSpace would be years behind where we currently are. Natalie and her husband Manny came from very modest means. When they achieved financial success, they channeled their hard-earned resources towards helping others. They donated generously for decades to causes near and dear to their hearts. After Manny passed away in 2017, Natalie continued their extraordinary philanthropy. The year after we founded GarrettsSpace, we were introduced to Natalie by her two nieces, Becky and Susan, who are here with us this evening. Natalie was instantly drawn to our mission of helping young people with depression and anxiety. She decided she wanted to make it possible for us to make a difference right away. With her family foundation's generous gift 4 years ago, we were able to hire our facilitator team and provide our wellness programming free of charge. 4 years later, the foundation brought our capital campaign goals within reach by making another incredible gift. So Natalie hadn't seen our property as of late last year. At the age of 97, she was quite frail. However, we had a plan for her to visit over the Thanksgiving holiday. Our project meant so much to her, and she was just really excited to see the beautiful site. Sadly, just a couple of days before her scheduled visit, she passed away. In the few years we knew Natalie, Julie and I fell in love with her. She was a force. She was warm, honest, and a breath of fresh air. She served as a model to us for how to live your life unselfishly. We're so honored to have Susan and Becky, her nieces, come up and accept our Spirit of Garrett Award in honor of Natalie.
Thank you so much. This is going to echo Scott's remarks, remarkably. Our beloved aunt, Natalie Cherrick, passed away in her 98th year last November. Her energy, drive, and commitment to bettering the world were defining characteristics. She and her husband, Manny, as Scott said, established a family foundation to further their philanthropy. And they did it generously throughout the mostly southeast lower Michigan area. They named their foundation Manat, amalgam of their names. And as Susan and I were going through Manat paperwork, she found the notes of the first meeting of Natalie with Scott and Julie in December of 2019. Natalie recognized the critical need of mental health services for young adults, and she grasped the need for better, comprehensive services. She told Scott and Julie, "I will help you." At the time of that initial meeting, the initial peer support groups were being established, and Natalie promised a gift to support those. But as Scott and Julie went on to describe their dream of a holistic center with a residential component, this fired Natalie's potent imagination, and in her inimitable way, the advice started flowing so that they could achieve their dream of finding a place for themselves, for this cause. It seemed like quite a leap for anyone but Scott and Julie. While Scott scoured the area for an appropriate property, Natalie continued to follow the rapid progress of GarrettsSpace. Natalie took great interest in the organizations she supported, great personal interest, but with Scott and Susan, there developed a strong bond of affection and great respect. And then in late summer of 2020, Scott and Julie came to Natalie with artists' renditions of this amazing property. Thanks to their diligence and the generosity of Ellie Saris, Garrett Space had found its home. We didn't quite get to bring Natalie up to see the property, but through Manat Foundation, Natalie's support for the campus can continue. We are so proud of Garrett Space and proud to honor Garrett's memory by accepting the Spirit of Garrett Award on behalf of Natalie Jarek. Thank you.
Earlier this evening, Scott mentioned the success we've been having with our wellness programming, and it's now our great privilege to introduce two former Garrett Space Group participants, Alondra, who's here in person, and Karina, who can't join in person, but has written a letter that Alondra will be reading. We are so grateful to both of them for sharing their very personal experiences here tonight, and please give her a warm welcome. Come on up.
I was waiting for you guys to come up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scott and Julie. That was really beautiful. And as they said, hello, my name is Alondra, and I was a member of Garrett Space for about a year and a half, almost 2 years before aging out, and now I'm a current alumni as of this June. I have had mental health challenges since I was a child, and I have seen a counselor, on and off throughout most of my life. And I also, more recently, have been able to find some of the most supportive support that I've found along that journey, including finding mental health groups. And when I came to Garrett Space about a year and a half or so, I came in an extra distressing time in my life. I actually found it through a funny avenue. I was looking for places to volunteer because I'd heard about how helping others can help you feel better. So I found it through a volunteer page, and at that time I thought, well, I need this too. So I was really, really grateful to be able to reach out in that time of distress. There's something I've learned as well, that in times of distress, there is always a need for more support. And something that I've learned is there can never be too much support either. And something that I think Garrett Space provides for the community is a space within a deficit. Often people might have a counselor one day a week, or if they need some more support, go to inpatient in a hospital. But what do we have for in between that? Sometimes the support in a hospital might not even be exactly what you need, but just having a community of people that surround you, that's not just from 5 to 6 on Monday when you're seeing a counselor, that you know are going to be there for you, is one of the most helpful things that I found through Garrett Space. And something else that was interesting for me and really I think beneficial about Garrett Space was I had actually found and had another mental health group before I came here. But my other mental health group was very small and had members that were about 50 years old to 60 years old or older, and I was the youngest member. So finding something like Garrett Space was a completely different experience, to be able to have a mental health group with other people my age. And I found such a great benefit from this, from being around other people that are at a similar stage in life, because not only can it be very validating, like they're going through the exact same things as you, they can also have insights into experiences that you're currently going through that they may have already gone through. And being able to hear the wisdom from other people that they've just gone through it or are going through it now was an extremely validating experience. And that was something that my other mental health group, though wonderful, hadn't been able to provide. And GarrettsSpace also has a larger amount of people and a real feeling of community, which I think is so crucial to care when struggling with mental health issues. Knowing that there's a whole group of people there for you whenever you need makes you feel that you're not alone. And beforehand, I would often feel very alone. That's why I think that GarrettsSpace also helps to reduce stigma so much. It's nice knowing that you have a counselor to talk to each week, but they might not always be available. But GarrettsSpace had facilitators that you could reach out to when you needed, and a group chat for participants, as well as fun outings for participants to go to monthly to facilitate a sense of community. It was not just about one day that people were there for you. There was a sense that there was a safety net, and they were there for you all the time. And I think that people that are, especially young people struggling with mental health, might not always have that safety net. They might not have a large group of friends. They might have been hurt by people in their lives. They might not even have parents or other people that are able to support them. So having GarrettsSpace provide a sense of community of people that could be like parents or friends, knowing that you have people there for you, I think helps you so much to move forward or even just be present with what you're dealing with. Another thing that was interesting specifically for me being a part of GarrettsSpace was that despite being in a group with peers around the same age, being a benefit to me now, when I first joined GarrettsSpace, this is actually one of my top anxieties. As one of my struggles in the past was unfortunately experiencing quite a bit of peer rejection and bullying when I was younger. So I had actually an extra anxiety about being vulnerable and sharing with groups of people my age, since this was literally one of my triggers. So coming into GarrettsSpace, I was quite nervous in the beginning, but what was really healing about this experience was that this group of people are the complete opposite of judgmental. Being around GarrettsSpace peers and facilitators made me feel loved, understood, respected, and accepted. And that really helped me in a completely different way than my other group had been. This helped me to start to believe that people my age could be safe again. And so I'm very thankful to have been in such an accepting community that was able to show me that. So GarrettsSpace had that extra level of benefit for me. I want to thank Julie and Scott for taking their wound and transforming it into something beautiful like GarrettsSpace. I want to thank the facilitators and all other people involved in GarrettsSpace for being so devoted to helping young people in need. I want to thank all of the donors and all of the people that support this. I wish we had places like GarrettsSpace in every city, every community, every town, everywhere. And so I am just so grateful that we have a specific place like this that hopefully will be developed for young people. And I also want to thank my fellow group members for their love, for taking care of themselves, and for their continued bravery. And I'd like to finish by saying that per the fact that I have anxiety, I had a lot of anxiety preparing for and giving this speech tonight. But something that I've often heard said in my mental health groups and among other peers that struggle with mental health issues is despite anxiety, despite depression, despite whatever you're going through, please continue to engage in the world. If you had a hard time getting out of bed today, but you were just able to get out of the house and take a walk around the block, that is wonderful. Or whether you were afraid of reaching out for support and did it anyway, good job. Or if you were afraid of getting up on stage and giving a speech, don't let fear get in the way. At least that's what I try to do, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I know that a lot of you out there might also be struggling with things right now, but I encourage you, do not stop trying to engage with the world. Keep fighting, keep putting yourself out there, and do not give up. Thank you. Okay, so now I could cry, so that's great, because I'm also going to read someone else's speech, but thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. One of my great honors has also been getting to know fellow group participants, one of whom is named Karina, and I'm going to also be reading her statement because unfortunately she couldn't be here tonight as she has broken her knee so we hope you recover very soon. So that's Karina. So I'm going to read Karina's statement now. Hello, everyone. My name is Karina, and I have been a member of GarrettsSpace for a few years, aka I'm an OG, as we say in group. I've been fortunate to have watched GarrettsSpace grow since the early beginning to what it is today. I have struggled with mental illness since I was a child and continue to struggle with it in my daily life as an adult. Mental illness can be extremely isolating and lonely. When I was younger, I used to visualize my mental illness diagnoses as different monsters. They were all different sizes, textures, and shapes. As I started to get older, those monsters disappeared. I then found myself somewhere new. I found myself in an endless dark void. Everything is pitch black, and I stand there in stillness with a lantern. When I first found myself here, I was upset and felt trapped. I would get upset with myself that I couldn't find my way out. I would get angry that I had to stand there alone, enduring so much pain. It was not only lonely, but cold, and it was a place where I felt hopeless, and I felt I could never get out. I thought all the pain I felt only hurt myself and everyone I loved, and I believed my pain had no purpose except to torture me, and it felt I would never leave. I would think to myself, why did all this happen to me? Is there truly a God, and am I being punished for a sin I lack recollection of? I stood in darkness, hating myself for being who I was, but mostly I would stand in the void and think, is my brain broken or my soul? The biggest thing GarrettsSpace has helped me with was standing in that dark void. I am still in that void, but I feel less cold while I'm there. Instead of just standing, I find myself wandering a little, looking for a sign of light. I don't loathe being in that dark space anymore, and I don't find it to be a negative place to be. Actually, it can be weirdly peaceful. The darkness doesn't scare me anymore. I've made peace with where I'm at, and I've found my darkness has set me free. All the pain I felt wasn't useless. It became a strength. Without pain, I would never have related to my fellow group members or have given them feedback on their struggles, nor would they have related to me. Deep pain allows empathy and seeing through different eyes. The most important thing I can do is allow to love in a different way. This love can provide a sense of peace that nothing else can. I find this now to be one of my strengths, and GarrettsSpace aided me in seeing this within myself. When I joined GarrettsSpace, I was reluctant. I had bad experiences with group therapy before and didn't want to deal with that again. I quickly found GarrettsSpace was not like my previous groups. While we had time to process, we also had fun activities to do, which I always enjoyed. I didn't feel GarrettsSpace was just an hour and a half of people complaining, but I always felt energized and not drained at the end of group. When I aged out of GarrettsSpace, it was extremely difficult. I think I can speak on behalf of the other alumni that the transition wasn't easy. I didn't know what to do anymore on my Wednesday nights, and doing anything else in replacement felt weird. I won't lie, I cried a few times, and with even the thought of leaving. I'm a little emotional while writing this, but I feel this is a testament to what an amazingly safe and supporting place the facilitators have created. My favorite part of group was when I would log on and hear, "Hi, Karina." Simply knowing someone was genuinely happy to see me every week meant so much to me, and the sentiment makes me emotional even now. As this speech finishes, I want to take the time to thank Garrett's parents for creating this program. As someone who struggles with mental health, I often feel forgotten due to lack of help and resources for people who struggle with this. I'd like to thank Julie and Scott for making that difference and for making myself and others feel less forgotten. I'd also like to thank the facilitators of the group, and I have had the fortune to have been with so many of the facilitators, if not all at the same point, during my time at GarrettsSpace. I want to thank them for all they do, all their sacrifice, and all their endless amount of kindness. It takes a very special people to create such a space, which I feel privileged to have been a part of. And finally, I want to thank my fellow group members that I have met over the years. Some people I've had the privilege of knowing for a decent length of time, and some people only a few or even just one at a time. And as cheesy as it sounds, it never mattered the length of time I spent with each person in group, because each person has been memorable to me in some way, because of a lesson they taught me, by an experience they shared, or just by a supporting word or gesture they gave either to myself or others. I am lucky to have come out with a few friends along the way. I appreciate to have had the honor to have shared at this event, and unfortunately I cannot be with you all tonight due to the fact that I'm recovering from a shattered knee. I appreciate the opportunity for this to be read on my behalf, and thank you all for supporting this program and people like myself in one way or another. If I can leave you with one thing, I hope that whatever darkness you find yourself in, I hope you find peace there. I'd like to finish with a quote I feel summarizes my feelings when it comes to everyone I've met on my journey in GarrettsSpace. This quote comes from one of my favorite films, Girl Interrupted, which was based off of a memoir of true events. Crazy isn't being broken or swallowing a dark secret. It's you or me, amplified. If you ever told a lie and enjoyed it, if you ever wished you could be a child forever. They were not perfect, but they were my friends, and by the 70s, most of them were out living lives. Some I've seen, some never again, but there isn't a day my heart doesn't find them. Thank you, Karina.
All right, thank you so much, Alondra and Karina. Let's give another round of applause for both of them here. Thank you, sharing your story. Well, there's no doubt what Scott and Julie have created is really something special, and a lot has to do in part, I think this community in Ann Arbor is a really special place. You know, growing up here, I've had, a lot of time to reflect after moving to Los Angeles 3 years ago to sort of see, what I was missing and all the things that I loved about it. And every time I'm back home, there's, of course, things that I think about, with Garrett that I miss. But, just those Ann Arbor things like the fall weather and football games and all the people, I think, is the most important thing, is that all of you here are the reason, why I'm here today. So I want to thank all of you for being here. So thanks for being part of this amazing community. And one person who I had gotten to get to know in Los Angeles is a really incredible creative filmmaker, among many things. He lives in Los Angeles. I've been able to work with him on a number of things out there, and we connect on just towny stuff all the time. And it's a real honor to have him here, and it's a real treat. He has a very impressive body of work. He is an Emmy Award winner, a best-selling author and journalist, frequent contributor to NPR's This American Life. He is the founder of Washington to Washington, an annual hiking trip for kids from Detroit, D.C., and New Orleans. And he is the creator of Found magazine. And that is just among a lot of things that he does. And he's here with us today, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Davey Rothbart. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you, Mario. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. What a special opportunity to support GarrettsSpace. Just an incredible place for hope, healing, connection. It's a real honor to be here and join you guys tonight. I didn't know Garrett, but I've gotten to know him through stories from Scott and Julie, from Allie and Maddie and Mario and many other friends. And, I had a couple friends that I lost after high school, in college. And those friends, I believe they would be here today if a place like GarrettsSpace had existed back then. So this is a personal mission for me. And not only mention that, I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids, 6 and 3 years old. And those kids are going to be young adults We have an unprecedented mental health crisis that's affecting young adults. And, it's relatable. At that age, my late teens, early 20s, that is a tumultuous time for anybody, even the most stable kid. And so for my kids to be able to benefit from a place like Garrett Space, should that need arise later in life, that means a lot to me. This mission is personal for me. And, you alluded to it earlier, but this is also a trailblazing space. Like, we can't emphasize that. There are other great organizations doing special work around the country, but there's nothing like Garrett Space. What's happening here in Ann Arbor is really exciting. It's really important. And it's being studied, scrutinized, and will be replicated all across the country and beyond. So when you support Garrett Space, you're not just supporting people in our community, you are supporting the future of care for young adults who are struggling and need this kind of support. Mario and I were talking. We said, we're having this fundraiser. Many of you have been generous over the years and in this last year as Garrett Space is coming together. But we're here in the room with people who care about this space. Let's raise some more money. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So
do it.
A special announcement is that we have an anonymous donor who is willing to match any donation that happens right here in the room tonight. So we're creating a goal of $15,000. That's going to be instantly doubled to $30,000, and we're going to make that happen right here, right now.
All right. So does everyone see this QR code up here? Are we all familiar with that? Let's get out our phones now, everybody. I'm serious. Let's get it out. Android, iPhone, BlackBerry, Boost Mobile. I've got it all. I mean, if you can get this, scan this code. This is everything you need right here.
Yeah, you'll be able to go to a page. You could give by Venmo, PayPal, ACH. If you have cash or checks, we actually will circulate the room. Mario's going to be walking around with a hat, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you give $20, that turns into $40. $50 turns instantly into $100. Remember, we have this matching donor. They're going to be doubling anything you give in this room right now tonight.
That's right. So if anyone has any question, I'm gonna come around. Davey, you can keep keep the flame brewing for a minute. And also, I'll say this: we do have one more performance after this to close out the evening. So please stick around after this, and then also there's that great dessert after. But before we do that, of course.
Yeah, you can see the numbers. It's pretty exciting because look,
we're moving up.
Here, 1 second ago, someone gave $250. Remember, that gets us closer to this.
Let's make some noise for $250.
Yeah, give it up.
Come on.
That $250, of course, instantly becomes $500. So just think about, do the math. It's pretty awesome. If you give $100, that's $200. If you give $200, that's $400.
That's
500
right.
turns into 1,000. So this is awesome. The donations are coming in. It takes a second, I know, to figure out the mechanics of it, but aim your phone right here at the QR code. Click on your phone. It'll bring you to a web page, and you'll have multiple options for how you can give.
Beautiful.
This is amazing. Thank you. Look at these numbers rolling in, Mario.
Anyone having any issues? I can come help. Raise your hand. I'm happy
Mario's
to come by.
What's
that? It's slow loading.
Slow loading?
Yes.
Take your time. It'll take a second to get there. We're already over $1,000.
Oh, right.
So that's $2,000.
Remember, we're doubling that. Yep.
The numbers are crawling up. I feel like this is like watching election night. You see the results come in, North Dakota.
Well, it took 3 days last time. So,
that's right.
But
look at this. Look, and let me point this out, Mario. Here's a $5 donation, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you give $1, $5, or $10. Like every dollar counts.
Right.
It truly
every
counts here.
One.
And that $5 turns into $10. So you give what you can, and this is adding up. This is amazing. $250. Thank you, Rachel and Evan. Thank you, Anonymous. Noah, thank you for $10. That's $20 now. Brandon, thank you for coming through. This is awesome. We're already at 2,000. Let's keep it rolling.
Woo.
Is there Wi-Fi in here?
Is there Wi-Fi in here? There is. It's open.
What is it?
It's open.
WCC Net is a good, is it open? Wow, thank you, Todd and Susan.
That's 2,000
Thank you, Chardon
right there.
Brooks. That's awesome. We're getting there. It's doubled. So this 3,000 we've raised in the last 2 minutes is already 6,000. We're getting up there. Thank
Almost
you,
halfway
Dan.
there. Almost
Thank you
halfway
so
there. Let's
much.
go.
Look at this. This is incredible. And
This
I know
is
you guys
beautiful.
care about Garrett Space and the way you do. What a beautiful speech. Thank you for sharing those reflections. That was really incredible, really moving, and really personalized the kind of work that's happening here at Garrett Space. These are not anonymous people that are being helped by Garrett Space. This is our community. These are the children of our friends. These are our friends. If we're a young person, these are our friends. If you're old like me, these are, your friends' children. They're all being supported in incredible and vital ways through the work of Garrett Space. Thank you, Christine. This is awesome. We're almost a third of the way. We're past a third of the way there.
There we go.
Thank you to the Kelly family.
So what is that? 10,000.
Look at this. So we're beyond 10,000.
Almost at
Thank you,
11,000.
Andy. So look at this.
Wow.
We're past a third of the way there. Milo, so generous, and I know
love
you
that.
understand what your work is truly going to support. To see and Mario, you know how I feel about nature and hiking and trails, and
Of course.
just to see that video and to see the gorgeous space. Thank you, Ralph and Deborah, to see this incredible plot of land that Scott and Julie located, and that many of our generous donors supported the capital campaign.
beautiful.
We're over 8 million with the capital campaign.
Yeah, that's right.
That space, just think about what that's going to work. Thank you to our anonymous donors tonight too.
We're almost at our
We're almost at our halfway point. This
halfway
is
point.
truly incredible. We didn't know how this would go. You guys are
Yeah,
rocking
this is
it. This
amazing.
is
First
so
time doing this.
Cool.
This is
Keep
amazing.
it going.
This
Keep
is
it
great.
going. We're almost halfway there.
We're so close. All the anonymous, Bruce, we see you.
Thank you. And to see, but Mario, to see this precious nature space, like the peers are healing, the facilitators are healing, the support is healing, but nature is a great healer. Nature is an
Absolutely.
essential healer, and this 70-acre plot of land has a pond, has a creek, has woods. That in itself is so valuable.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Elena, good friend of mine, Elena Chesney. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Semra.
Okay, we're close.
Love you. Let's keep this going.
Let's keep
Shoshana.
going. Let's keep going.
Wow.
Hey, let's make some
we're
noise,
up over
guys.
the
Let's
halfway
make some noise,
point.
everybody.
Let's keep it rocking. Hey, just like,
Can we make some
doesn't-
noise? Can we make some noise, please? Make some
Let's
noise
go.
for this.
Thank you. We're at our
This is
halfway
amazing.
point. We're at the halfway point.
making it up
You
here.
guys are doing great. This is amazing. I can barely work a cell. I don't know if I can figure out a
8,000.
QR code.
It's only been
8,000. This is great.
7
Thank you.
minutes.
Thank you, Tim and Jamina.
This is incredible.
Kristen, Scott, thank you. Let's keep this going. This is really incredible. Rena Chavis. Thank you all. This is a special community.
This is great.
Thank you to the Fromsons. Thank you, Jack and Sonny. It's a special community. The supporters of Garrett Space. Scott and Julie have been absolute warriors to create this. Thank you. Yeah.
If people have checks, if you have money.
Yeah, Mario, do you want to
come
circulate
around.
and see if there's any cash or checks in the house?
That's right.
If it's easier
you
to
have
write a
anything,
check, literally pull out your
just
checkbook.
let me know. I'm here.
Mario's
I'm here
going
to
come
collect.
by and collect a checkbook. Marla and Mark, thank you. AJ, thank you. And
We're
thank
getting
you,
there. We're
Robert's
getting
family.
there.
All right, we're getting up
Yes.
there. We're getting up there. This is really incredible in real time to see the kind of love and support that you guys have for this special space. And remember, we're going to have some more performances afterwards. There's incredible dessert waiting for us. We're almost there. Thank you to Nancy, George, Pondopera. This is awesome. Let's see if we can get up to 10,000. Remember, these are all doubled, so when we get to 10,000, we'll be at 20 for tonight. Thank you, Garrett, to Garrett's aunt. Wow, an anonymous donor takes us over the 9,000 mark. Thank you to the anonymous
they can
donor.
help you with
We really appreciate that. We're up and running. So this 10,000 is 20,000 thanks to our anonymous
Hey, let's go.
donor
We're
who's
so
matching
close.
tonight.
We're so close.
Thank you.
Anybody
I
need
love
help?
18.
Everything
I love
good?
180.
Thank you so much. I've
Laura,
got an extra
keep
100
this
here.
coming. Thank you to the Bishop family, to Laura, to the Newmans. Thank you.
All right.
We're getting
Anybody
actually
else checks or
our
cash? I'm
goal,
happy
which
to
seemed
help.
crazy, is actually within reach. We're just over 4,000 away. Let's put it together. And 79 people now. Thank you, in honor of Louis Kassab. Thank you. Thank you for that generous donation in honor of a friend. Louis Kasap. Peggy, thank you. We're up over 11,000. This is 22,000 now.
Hey, Davey, I've got 120 right here in my hand.
Mario, thank you. All right.
I got 120
thank
right
you
here.
To our friends
Does
in the
anyone else have
back.
cash or check that
Cash
they'd like
or
to
check?
donate?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Mario's back
Raise
there
your hand.
collecting
I'm happy to
cash
hear.
and checks. So
I'm right here. Working it out okay?
Holly and Glenn, thank you. David, thank you. Wow!
Oh,
my
wow.
God. Thank you. We're really close now.
That's amazing.
We're really close. This is incredible. I'm actually emotional right now watching this.
Anyone over here?
Seeing the support for Garrett Space. This is beautiful.
Questions?
What a beautiful bunch
Anyone
of people.
need
Have
any
I
help?
said that yet? This
We're
is
still
incredible.
working.
Thank you to the Kohlenbergs. We're down the home stretch here.
It's 200 more. Any questions? Oh,
Anyone
right here.
else
Let me
with
help
cash?
you.
Oh, thank you for this
I've
check.
got a check here.
Thank you so much.
This is it, $360 right
Thank
here.
you. Wow,
Yeah,
what a generous donation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here we are. We're down the home stretch. Random
Let's
person
get there.
gave 10. That's 20. 200 from Diana. This is amazing.
There we go.
And Darren puts us over the top. Awesome work. This is fantastic. That's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Let's keep it going.
Keep it going.
Yes, thank you.
This is beautiful. This is incredible. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you to the Kriegers.
Wow.
Thank you, Michael. It keeps going. We're doubling this. 31,000 we're up over.
Wow.
And thank you, of course, Mario. Thank you to our anonymous donor who's matching every one of your gifts. Thank you all for this incredible support. It's truly amazing. I can't believe this just happened. We set a high goal with our fingers crossed, and you guys came and rallied and made this happen. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. In what? How? 10 minutes or so?
10 minutes.
This is amazing.
Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to all of you. Thank you. In this room tonight.
Thank you.
Raising over $30,000 for Garrett Space. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Well, we'll keep the donations going. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, any of the volunteers, anybody that's working here, please do not hesitate to reach out. Obviously, these work great as well, so please find me, and I can make sure I get it to Scott and Julie safe and sound. So, wow, amazing work, everybody. I don't even know what to say.
One more round of applause for these guys. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Wow.
So we have one more. So we have one more performance to close out the evening here. And I'm very, very excited to introduce them. I have their names written down here on this handy sheet. And I'd also love to say round of applause for Helen Starman for tonight. Because you might not see her in here, but she's working. She's doing the thing. So for this next performance, I'd love to welcome Austin McCoy, Alina Kerr, and Lily Wright, as well as Jordan McKay, for a performance of You Will Be Found. Let's give a round of applause, please.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there?
Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere?
Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away.
Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.
'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand,
You
you can reach out your hand, and oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Comes crashing through,
when you need a friend to carry you,
if you're broken on the ground,
you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. Even when the dark comes crashing through, you will be found. When you need a friend to carry you, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
Wow. I was caught up in, I was back there, and I was listening, and I forgot I had to be up here. So, woo. Thank you for that amazing performance. I'm just going to catch my breath and talk. Wow, thank you all for being here. The last couple orders of business I was told is that the silent auction is still going, so please check that out. And there's still room for the sound bath that is happening after. So, if you'd like to participate, please find one of our volunteers and let us know. Yeah, I ran fast. I'm serious. I was running. Yeah, okay. But really, that's it for now. My name's Mario. Thank you so much for being at this event. I appreciate you all. Scott and Julie, thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next year.